Arcade racing is dead. As
Whoopsie.
much as we want to go back, the landscape has changed and classic arcade style is gone forever. It's like at some point in your childhood you and your friends went outside to play together for the last time and nobody knew it. There seems to be a lot of
So,
excitement for
y'all ready
Need
to
for Speed
accept the
Unbound
list?
as it approached at the start of December. There's always talk on social media about the desire for Burnout to return or for the Midnight Club franchise to make a comeback, but the reality is that these series are dead, and as the sales for Need for Speed Unbound have shown, even that franchise is on life support now. The golden age of PS2 and PS3 arcade racing is now long gone, and it is never coming back. It's time we all accept it. The good times never last. Gamers of a certain age who have incredibly fond memories of the PlayStation 2 era, from Gran Turismo 4 to Need for Speed Most Wanted and Burnout 3 Takedown. It was a fantastic time to pick up the controller and go for a chaotic drive. The journey and physics of GT4 is still unmatched by that franchise, and the thrills of Need for Speed in that time are unequaled. If you are in your 30s now, then you have great memories of that Need for Speed golden time, from Underground's techno menu music and car showcases to Most Wanted's M3 that EA is still using to promote that series today. It was just an epic time to be a racing fan, but the good times haven't lasted. They really never can. Quite what killed the arcade racer is unclear. Maybe you all just grew up and discovered Assetto Corsa and iRacing instead. What is clear though is that arcade racing is not what it was. It's not even close. Even the success of Forza Horizon series has eroded. Even the success of the Forza Horizon series has eroded. While the series peaked for many at Forza Horizon 1, 2, and 3, the biggest success commercially was Forza Horizon 4, but 2021's Forza Horizon 5 release was immediately panned as a reskin and quickly faded from consciousness, having left no trace.
Boo!
While no one thing is to blame for the death of arcade racers, one of the obvious places to start is with EA. As the publisher of Need for Speed, Burnout and Road Rush, they had a huge hand in the arcade racing scene and profited nicely from it. The problem is that EA then discovered how to not just profit from games, but to get obscenely rich from them. The creation of Ultimate Team within the sports franchises and loot boxes was a cash generation machine like nothing else. For much of the 2000s, Criterion Games' Burnout series dominated the arcade racing journey. Its blend of lightning-fast driving, slow-motion crashes, and killer soundtracks made for some phenomenal games that people still love today. With 5 mainline games, which are Burnout, Burnout 2, Point of Impact, The Critical Darling, Burnout 3, Takedown, Burnout Revenge, and Burnout Paradise, the series continually evolved, adding unique existing features that kept gamers engaged. But unfortunately, much to the charging of the gaming public, Burnout fell by the wayside once the 2010s came around, and it's been quite a while since the world has seen a new mainline entry from the series. It's something that hasn't sit well with many racing game fans, especially those who grew up on those games. It's almost baffling that despite critical and commercial success, the beloved arcade racer seems to be gone for good. It makes you wonder what exactly happened. EA gutted Criterion and shifted staff to new developer. When a huge publisher owns a game studio, the developer doesn't always make its own decisions about what to work on and when to work on it. For example, despite the success of Burnout Paradise, EA, who purchased Criterion back in 2004, tasked the developer with creating a new entry in the Need for Speed series. After the first 2 Criterion developed Need for Speed games were met with such great success, EA decided to assign around 80% of the studio staff to work on the next entry in the series. Need for Speed Rivals was developer Ghost Games. A mere month later, Criterion co-founder Alex Ward broke the news that 8% formed into a brand new developer, which was Ghost Games UK. Even after Ward and Sperry left to form Three Fields Entertainment, EA and Criterion had a plan in place to create a successor to Burnout. During the summer of 2014, the studio announced that it was working on a new racing game, one focused on multiple vehicle types as well as completely first-person point of view. EA showed off some early concept art and gameplay footage at its E3 2014 press briefing, which generated quite a bit of buzz. However, nothing ever came of it. Okay, Ubisoft and the Driver franchise. The Driver franchise was continually struggling to find its footing in the market, with each entry. I'm sorry, something just fell. It's my water bottle. I'm very sorry. Okay. So what was I? So the Driver franchise was continually struggling to find its footing in the market, with each entry falling short of its contemporaries and fan expectation in some way, shape, or form. Much like Driver 3, San Francisco had a long and protracted development cycle, and the game had been delayed several times before releasing in 2011, continuing over the predicament of toning down action established in parallel lines. Driver San Francisco was first and foremost a driving game players could still take control of all the cars, but that required the use of Tanner's newfound psychic abilities, which of course meant a lot of the core gameplay loop and associated systems had to change. Coupling that with great visuals and writing, San Francisco was met with great critical reception upon its release. While Ubisoft never publicly revealed any sales figures, a financial report of that time reveals the sales to be better than expected. However, a source at Ubisoft said that the sales were lackluster, which put the series in a wobbly position. However, what exactly happened to Driver remains a tough mystery to crack. Watch Dogs was born out of a vision for a Driver sequel, which has been going strong. Ubisoft Reflective has been stripped down to support roles for major titles under the publisher's belt, including Watch Dogs 2, The Crew 2, and The Division. Whether this change of roles within the hierarchy was a Ubisoft-based or the studio's is anyone's guess. Either way, the Driver brand has been dominant for a long time, and it seems highly unlikely that those engines will ever rev again. Now, the Midnight Club franchise was one of the first games to put quality arcade racing on home consoles, with the first entry in the form of Midnight Club Street Racing. Ditching the at the time prevalent pursuit for realistic driving, Angel Studios delivered a great and rather unique experience for fans of the genre. Midnight Club ushered in a whole new era, with many more developers jumping on to create high-octane illegal street races. The game might have reportedly only sold 2 million copies, but it was more than enough for Rockstar to warrant a sequel. 2003 brought with it Midnight Club 2, which upped the ante just like a great sequel should, and it certainly paid off. While the exact sales figures aren't known, the game sold 1.2 million copies on the PlayStation 2 alone. Rockstar continued to invest in the franchise, developing 2 more mainline entries and a handheld port for Midnight Club LA by Rockstar London. Midnight Club Los Angeles is said to have sold 7 million copies, but it's possible that Rockstar wanted a lot more out of the franchise in terms of commercial success. Rockstar's other franchises were reaching greater heights by the time Midnight Club Los Angeles hit the shelves, and it could have been a financially driven decision to put the franchise on an indefinite hold. Rockstar's diverse portfolio of quality titles was a sight to behold during the turn of the millennium, but the giant turned its back on most of its lesser known titles when it saw unrivaled success in the Grand Theft Auto series. Despite seemingly great sales for the last Midnight Club game, it couldn't hold a candle to Grand Theft Auto 4, which reportedly surpassed 25 million copies by 2013.
Where your car at? Where your BMW at? There go my BMW. God, motherfucking.
Perhaps the big reason why arcade racers won't come back is that sim racing has eaten up that audience in a remarkable way. Those that loved Gran Turismo in the early days moved into Assetto Corsa and iRacing as those titles arrived on the scene. The realistic handling and physics offered players the chance to experience new thrills when behind the wheel of virtual supercars and GT cars. As sim racing has flourished and shown off what modern computing power can do, the draw of floaty arcade handling has dropped off a cliff. Those that grew up on the golden era of arcade races graduated to sim racing and have moved that on to the next generation. And with the development of new advanced racing wheels that help increase the immersion of the sim racing game, modern arcade games cannot simply compete with them. Maybe if the Burnout franchise was independent rather than under EA, it would have continued and the passion for what arcade racing would have thrived. The genre is slowly dying and it isn't coming, but what matters most are the simple pleasures so abundant that we can all enjoy them. Okay, welcome to the outro. That was the end. I don't know what you think, but to me it feels like arcade racing is slowly dying. But I don't know what you guys think. Leave down a comment below on what you think is happening with arcade racing. Is it successful? Is it dying? Is it growing? I would really love to hear what you guys have to say. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.